I had just closed on my first real house in a quiet suburb outside Denver. It was one of those older neighborhoods where the trees were tall and mature, the streets were narrow, and most of the houses sat back from the road like they were trying to keep their distance from one another. The kind of place where people valued privacy. During the buying process, I had visited the property a few times for inspections and walkthroughs, but I never really saw the neighbors. When the moving truck arrived, nobody waved. No one peeked through curtains. No curious faces appeared on porches. The real estate agent had joked about it earlier. "People here are private," she said with a smile. Honestly, that sounded perfect to me. I work remotely and prefer quiet. A silent neighborhood felt like the ideal place to focus and finally settle into a home of my own. The first few days were chaos. Boxes stacked everywhere. Furniture half-assembled, tools scattered across the living room floor. I spent most of the week unpacking, organizing, and trying to remember which box held what. That week it snowed lightly a few times. Nothing heavy, just enough to dust the lawns and sidewalks in white. By the end of each day I was exhausted, falling asleep around 9 or 10 p.m. But on the fourth night, something woke me. I checked the clock. 15 a.m. At first I didn't know why I was awake. The house was silent. Then I heard it. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Metal against concrete. Then a soft whoosh, like snow being tossed aside. I stayed still in bed, listening. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Curiosity finally got the better of me. I slipped out of bed and walked to the upstairs window that overlooked the driveway. When I pulled the blinds apart, I saw a man standing in my driveway. He was tall and bundled in a dark parka with the hood pulled low over his face. Under the faint glow of the streetlight, he was methodically shoveling snow. Push, lift, toss, push, lift, toss. Half the driveway was already cleared. I stared for a few minutes, confused. Part of me wondered if it was some strange act of kindness. Maybe. A neighbor welcoming the new guy. But at 2 in the morning, without saying anything? Something about it felt wrong. The way he moved was too slow, too mechanical, like he was following a routine. Eventually, I decided I should go downstairs and thank him. I threw on boots and a coat and quietly opened the front door. The cold air hit my face immediately, but the driveway was empty. The man was gone. The shovel was gone too. Only half the driveway was cleared, the snow cut neatly in straight lines. The last row stopped abruptly, like he had simply vanished mid-motion. I stood there for a moment, scanning the quiet street. Nothing moved. Every house was dark. I went back inside, locked the door, and convinced myself I had probably just missed him walking away. The next night, it happened again. 20 a.m. The scraping woke me. I rushed to the window. There he was, same dark parka, same slow, deliberate movements. This time I didn't hesitate. I ran downstairs and flung the door open. Gone. Just like before. It kept happening. Night after night. Always around 2 in the morning. Always the same scraping sound. And every time I went outside, he disappeared. I started setting an alarm for 1:50 a.m. so I could watch from the window. Sometimes I'd see him working for several minutes before the sound woke me. Other times he'd already cleared half the driveway, but he never looked up. Never acknowledged the house, just shoveled, like it was his job. On the 6th night something changed. The scraping stopped suddenly. I was already standing at the window. 1 second he was there. The next, he was gone. The driveway was completely cleared this time, perfectly clean. I ran downstairs and yanked the front door open, and that's when I saw him. He was standing on my porch, only 3 feet away. His hood was down now. His face looked pale, under the porch light, with deep shadows around his eyes. His beard was patchy and unkempt. He held the shovel loosely at his side, and he was staring directly at me, not blinking. Not speaking, just staring. For a moment I couldn't even talk. My mouth felt dry. Finally, I forced the words out. "What are you doing?" His eyes narrowed slightly like he was studying me. Then he turned around, without saying a word. He stepped off the porch, walked down the driveway he had just cleared, and disappeared down the street into the darkness. I locked the door immediately. Deadbolt, chain, everything. Then I called the police. They took a report, but since he hadn't technically done anything illegal, there wasn't much they could do. They suggested installing cameras, so the next day, I installed motion lights and security cameras around the house. That night, the scraping never came. But around 2:30 a.m., my phone buzzed with a notification. Motion detected on the front porch. Stomach dropped as I opened the camera app. He was standing there again, motionless, facing the door, shovel in hand, and this time, he was staring directly into the camera, like he knew I was watching. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch with every light in the house turned on, staring at the live feed. He stayed there for almost 20 minutes, completely still. Then, he slowly turned and walked off the porch. The next night, he came closer, almost pressed against the door. He knocked 3 times. Soft, slow, deliberate. Then he waited. No yelling, no pounding, just patient. Like he knew I was inside. Like he knew I was watching. When the police finally investigated, a woman down the street remembered someone like him, a man who used to live in my house years ago. His wife had died. The house was foreclosed. He was evicted. But neighbors said he kept coming back at night afterward, claiming he was taking care of the place. No one had seen him in nearly a decade. I moved out 2 weeks later, sold the house at a loss just to leave. Sometimes I still look up the address online. The house looks normal, quiet, peaceful. But when it snows, and I can't sleep, I swear I can. Still hear it somewhere in the distance, scrape, pause, scrape, like someone out there, still finishing the driveway.